In the coldest, snow-covered forest, where towering trees stood like silent guardians and icy winds danced through the branches, life moved in hushed determination. Birds cried overhead, their wings slicing through the frosty air, while on the ground, resilient creatures glided through the snow like whispers. Among them was a small ermine, its white winter coat blending perfectly with the snowy surroundings. Known for its agility and cleverness, the ermine had long mastered the art of surviving the frozen wilderness. But today was different. The ermine had been injured, perhaps a fall, or maybe a close encounter with a predator. Its tiny body lay motionless near a tree root, deep gashes on its side and a trembling stillness in its limbs. The cold bit into its bones, and its breath grew shallow. Yet in its bright eyes, a spark still flickered, faint, but fierce. Far above on the snowy trail, a red jeep roared gently through the forest. Inside, the rescue team clad in bright red jackets and armed with binoculars searched for signs of animals in distress. One rescuer gasped, spotting a white figure barely visible against the snow. "There!" they cried. The team rushed out of the jeep and trudged quickly through the deep snow. Upon reaching the ermine, they knelt beside it, voices low, hands gentle. The ermine was small, delicate, but its spirit was unbroken. The team worked swiftly, cleaning its wounds and wrapping its body in a soft thermal cloth. The forest around them was silent, except for the muffled rustle of their movements and the faint, determined breaths of the ermine. Once stabilized, the ermine slowly lifted its head. It looked around, sniffed the air, and glanced up at its rescuers. For a brief moment, its gaze met theirs. No words were needed. The connection was real, raw and silent. They released it gently back onto the snow, watching as it took a few unsure steps. Then, with a burst of energy, it scurried toward the trees. The rescue team smiled, some with tears in their eyes, as the ermine paused on a snowy mound. It looked back one last time, its little eyes shining with something like gratitude. Then, with a flick of its tail, it disappeared into the snowy forest. The team stood quietly for a while, hearts warmed despite the cold. The tiny ermine had reminded them why they did what they did. A life saved, a connection made, and a memory that would live with them forever in the silence of the forest.